Hi, hello everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to GG Over Easy. In today's episode, for all of you people like, oh my gosh, the intro, just skip like a minute. All right, go ahead. In today's episode, Rob does his best to mimic my voice, but it's not. Well, he's doing his best. We talk about quite a few things, a lot of video game stuff. We heated about a couple things. Some of us have some hot takes, some cold takes. Certainly seemed like a lot more cold takes than hot takes. Tons of stuff is going to take us over. Why are you like whispering? I can like vaguely hear like.
Shut up!
It's like you're speaking like that's what is that tongue from? Parcel tongue. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Anyway, tons of stuff today. Start with a little IRL stuff. Head into a whole bunch of video game stuff. Have yourselves a fantastic day. Because we're here to entertain you in this episode of GG Over Easy. Welcome back to GG Over Easy, episode 35.
No, 35. No, 35. Because last week we were on ESPN and now we're on ESPN 2.
Okay.
It's gotta be.
ESPN 2.
I remember. And then next week will be History Channel.
Bro, I don't even know how many weeks we are into the quarantine. You know, like how am I supposed to remember what episode we're on? I'm not really sure.
Comcast channels.
But we do know that episodes are now delayed for audio users until Thursday. So to everyone confused, like, yo, where's the thing? It's our studio. They're uploading it Thursdays. So either, I don't know. We usually record
them here on weekends though, right? Like
yeah.
Nothing's happening with the video ones, right?
No, but we usually record them like later on. We like to record closer to it because then there's usually more to talk about. Or it's like if there's something topical. That's
totally why we do it.
Because there's something more topical, right? We're talking about tons of topical stuff today, dude. I'm looking at the list, like look at that topical, super topical, like
very topical.
This is the topical podcast, dude. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
That was sick. I caught the fuzzy.
And it almost makes as much sense as this podcast review. Oh. It just started off. Hey, thanks. Here's an ad read.
I've been conditioned to be a slave to the capitalism.
The best podcast in the universe, titled by Rot Badge. This is the best podcast I had ever listened to. It is the only podcast I can listen to without having to skip through parts. Every second of this podcast is interesting to listen to and fully worth your time. 100 stars.
Okay.
That's a lot of stars.
Wow.
I don't know if that's like loud though.
Now we're squaring the amount of stars this is rated.
Cubic.
No.
Is that
even 3 legal? Arrow pointing up. That's
10,
like a big
10 squared would be 100.
I was watching this video. It was one of those days. Have you ever been like on YouTube and it's like 2 a.m. and you're watching like how we came up with the biggest number in the world? And you're like, how the hell did I get to this point on YouTube here at 2 a.m? Just one of those days. But I just figured out like the world's biggest number. But now I just forgot about it. So it kind of sucks. So I just know it does arrow ups. Arrow up is like what the equation is.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
You can just put an infinity symbol.
No, well, it's like, but infinity is not like, a number.
It's a concept.
Yeah, infinity is a concept. This is like a physical, tangible number.
Wouldn't the highest number technically be a concept since there's no actual?
No, the highest number. There is a highest number, and it's so big that if you were able to comprehend it, your brain would turn into a black hole.
Yeah, it would quite literally
it's still just a concept. So just drop the infinity symbol.
But what's the difference between a concept and a number? A number is like a tangible thing. I could say this number if I wanted to right now. I could start.
But didn't you just say if you were to comprehend it, your mind would turn into a black hole? So we're theoretically referring to the number.
But your brain's not a black hole right now. So like you can't think about it.
Do you know why? Because they just basically made like a really exhaustive alternative to the...
Yeah, I think this is what happened. Some dude was like, bro, I'm tired of counting. We're stopping it here. And that's just how it went. He's like, probably give up. Like, there's no point. We're never going to get there.
The guy who made math was just like, this is it right here.
He's like, listen, for the greater good.
He's like working on it. He's like, oh my God, this never ends, does it? Oh my God.
He's like,
I'm doing this for the 16-year-olds who are up at 7 a.m. taking a test. That's what I'm doing it for.
I I think about that sometimes. Like, how did I ever do that? Like, no wonder I would begrudgingly get on the bus every morning at like 6:15 in the morning,
And go
which
to
is bizarre.
algebra.
Yeah, and go to class, but like on the way, like sitting in the bus, like, what am I doing? The worst part too in Colorado, like you want to get the heater seat because there's only like 2 of those in the entire bus. You got to get the row with the heater. And if you don't, GG, that's it.
I kind of hate that seat because the heater takes up kind of your foot space, so it's kind of.
Oh, but that like it was worth it. No.
Yeah.
You just kind of huddle over, try to go to sleep on the heater. That's the only solace you had.
25-year-old Rob to get up at 6:15 to ride a bus to school, I'd punch you in the nuts. Like, that's just how it's gonna go.
Well, because the worst part too is for me on my bus stop, I was like first stop, so like we were first to get picked up. I don't think so. Did we? I don't know. I can't remember anymore.
I mean, what year did you move?
Wait, what? I'm talking like high school.
Oh, see, I probably was riding because my stepmom worked at the school at that point.
Yeah.
So I just froze my ass off in her car. But the problem was, if we wanted to go with her, we had to leave earlier because she had to go to C-Pod and go to work. And like no.
Yeah. All I know is you go there, you get there early. Class starts. 8 hours grinding away, and then you're back on a bus, and then you're going back. And the worst part too is sometimes in Colorado, by the time you're going back, you're in these winter clothes, but the sun's out. Now you're like sweating on the bus.
Oh God!
Nothing you can do about it. Yeah,
like not for the afternoon.
Nothing you do about it. Then you come home. It's like 4:15. You're tired. You got homework to do. At this point, it's like, what's the point? You know?
You play Halo 3 and Halo 2 instead.
That's the call. No, sometimes I would go home, get some Eggos, pop them in the toaster, but then you butter the Eggo and then you put cinnamon and sugar on it, and it's like a super scuffed cinnamon sugar crepe, and never very healthy. But I would eat like pop 3, 4, 5 of those in after school. And then what are all the other snacks I'd have? Make some like top ramen all the time. Just hungry. My parents were never home. I don't know how I ever did it. Shout out to all you grinders out there.
Yeah, but they're not in school anymore right now.
Well, that's true. Well, can you imagine though?
Wish they were in school.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would feel. Part of me would love it, and part of me would fucking hate it.
But now you're like sitting on Zoom calls for like 8 hours. Like,
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't, because then I was like, my teachers are idiots. But then, like, the students are idiots. I would just think the teachers, like, every time my teachers would try to use, like, remember they had that, like, fancy board where it was, like, not real expo marker, but they would do it on the board with
the light projector or whatever.
Why not just use an expo marker? Why? I always asked that. I was like, we're using a fake board on top of a real board. I was like, why don't we just use the expo? Like, what is the difference? And Miss Klein would always be like, shut up, Robert. Like,
there's no place for questions here.
So I was cleaning out my room.
Oh, you found it.
Because I'm moving. And yeah, I found our senior yearbook.
Hey.
And I found what you wrote. Do you remember what you wrote?
Oh my God. No idea.
It's pretty long.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
probably not long enough.
You are next to Tom Ogren and Nick Evnos. Those are who you're sandwiched in between. That's a good bunch.
Not tough. Not the toughest competition though, you know.
Yeah. You call me Robert though, which is kind of weird.
It's formal.
This, Blue? What he wrote?
I don't remember what I wrote. Oh no.
It says Robert, we've been deep in the friendship game! !
Hey.
Through the thick and thin, we made it. All caps on the made it. ... Throughout school. ... Throughout Halo, ... through it all, and that is bold exclamation marks in all caps. You're a great guy, even if everybody doesn't see it. Aw,
it's true.
They don't know you like I do. I know you've got a bright future, Rob. You're a good kid. Just try to stay out of trouble. And I think when I read you're a good kid.
You're a good kid, Rob.
I'm always there for you. Love, Christian Miller, a.k.a. Dodgeball MVP, a.k.a. Mr. Titan, a.k.a. Prom King, a.k.a. host of... Can you guess what you're the host of?
It's whatever the announcements were called. I can't remember.
What is it?
Oh my god!
What the fudge did we call it?
I read it and I was like, "That's what they were called."
I can't remember it. What is it?
The famous announcements that got banned was called Real Talk.
Oh, that's right. Real talk. I can't. I remember though. I put all those because all those things grinded Rob's gears.
Right there.
Because he hate. I'd be like dodgeballing people. Like, you didn't even win. Like it was a pity thing. Like you did. Like we won. Yeah, he hates that. And then I won prom king because I beat out Cody. And then Mr. Titan because he got second. And then the announcement was just
won first. Technically, I got first because I got the same prize as first place because I hustled the school.
But that's not how that works.
Yeah, but like I technically got first. I didn't get my name on the. I literally did it in hopes of getting third, second, or first, just so I could hustle the school. And guess what? I got second, and I was like, "Word,
we're hustling. We out here."
I went so like you could for first place you got like 2 tickets and a tux rental, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for second place, you got 1 ticket and a tux rental. And third place, you just got the tux rental. So I got the tux rental. And then I went to a freshman like lunch where they were like, it was like freshmen and they were selling the tickets. And they're like, "Hi." And I was like, "Hey, I just want to like redeem my," and I did it when there was a bunch of people around like trying to do it. I was like, "Hey, I'm just trying to like redeem my ticket." And they're like, "I don't know. Like, can you just put it on my date's name?" Like Jackie McCrow. Like, and she's like, "Oh yeah." So they put it on like my dates. So I was like, so I used my voucher.
Big brain.
So I went to the senior one like 2 weeks later, like the day before it closed. And it was Liz Jones was like doing it. It was like, "Hey, Rob." I was like, "Hey, I just wanted to use my ticket voucher for Mr. Titan on Jackie McGrill on my date." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she goes, "Oh, Jackie, it looks like she already bought a ticket." And I was like, "Oh, like, oh, can you just use it for me then?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Do you have your thing?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where it is. And she's like, "Oh, you're good." So I literally got 2 free tickets and a tux rental because I just hustled the school.
Hey, way to go. Proud of you.
No,
that's a hustle.
That's a hustler's mentality.
Right. I don't have that. I don't have that kind of mentality.
Yeah, also, I didn't feel bad. You got to play the system, man.
Yeah. No, you did. And here we are. And it's funny that in the yearbook, I said, like, you got a good future. You're gonna go well, kid. You're gonna do great things. Here we are, you know.
Do you think
we made it through it all? Hey, what are you?
Do you guys think you'd be upset if you were in high school right now and you didn't get like a prom or graduation? I really feel like I wouldn't give a shit. Like I feel like a lot of people are sad.
Yeah, you guys do that.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean you guys do that?
Did you not even go to
controversial? No,
what?
I don't think it's a
be controversial.
No, I mean, I never went to mine. So,
and what's your controversial take?
No, Mexicans have quinces. We have weekends. We have. I'm just look. I'm a Mexican kid, and there's like 12 of us in my school, so we never went to that stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
When there's like 12 like brown kids and like a school of white kids, it's like
you just didn't even go.
You know what? I think we're just not gonna go.
I didn't go to my orientation thing. In college when you're like supposed to go and like to the CSU thing and like take a picture with like all the students that spell out the school.
No.
Yeah, no chance I was there.
Almost
Did you go?
Every extracurricular activity in any school at any point, I opted out of.
You didn't go to that, the CSU like picture
No,
thing?
of course. I was playing League, bro.
It wasn't until college I actually got into extracurricular stuff. Because when you're in college, you have a much more significant amount of diversity of people to hang out with.
Were you in a club?
I was in college. There was like this anime club I was in. It was tight.
Hey, let's get it.
There was a PC building club that I signed up for, but I never went to. There
building?
Yeah. There was a get together for Smash, which was tight. Ooh. That was tight. I went to a lot of things. Eventually, I stopped going because I'm in an accelerated program. So I was like, eventually your work gets ahead of you. So it's unfortunate, but I never did any extracurricular or anything in high school. It wasn't until college I was like, oh, look at all these cool things to do and people that are like me. This is tight.
Well played. You spread your wings and flew.
I was trying to see like what clubs you're in, Christian, because like in the senior one, it's like supposed to list all the clubs and all your accomplishments. And what
like nothing,
done.
Probably.
And yours just says Christian Miller with nothing under it.
That's about
nothing.
Right. Yeah.
I thought you were like in like student honor society and all that kind of stuff.
No.
No.
I was in like newspaper, but I think that was the year before. Yeah,
Dude, you could literally get anything written down. On mine, I have kite flying society, girls soccer manager, and homecoming court. How did you not have your name on? Like at least something on there.
I don't know. I just remember I was newspaper the year before, and they wanted to make me editor-in-chief. I already hated newspaper. Yeah, look at that stud. Yeah.
How cute you are.
It was good. I had super short hair.
Do you recall where that picture was taken? Some
random photographer. It was like at an Elizabeth or something.
Senior yearbook pictures.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I was in newspaper the year before, and I already didn't want to take that class, but I needed some like extra credit, and they wanted to make me editor-in-chief, and I dropped out.
They're like, give him the spot.
I dropped out. I was like, I'm not doing this. I forget what I did instead, but like it was like third way into the semester. It was way too much work. Like this is what you have to do, which is like everything. And I'm
for
like, all right,
I'm little
out.
Work, dude. For like everybody to like
for just it's a random credit class.
Oh, cool. Like
yeah, like this is supposed to be like just some random credit class for. Nope. So I dipped, but that was the only time I.
The Boston Globe, okay? Like let's.
But relax. I think I did show up in junior year for newspaper, and that's probably the only thing I've ever like been in. But now I'm
never did like an extracurricular activity like club.
No, the bell rings, dude. I'm out of school. Like I'm off campus. I'm going home, dude. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to a friend's house. That was it for me. It's like I spent like my whole life here. Like you want me to spend more time? No, miss me with that. And so I did. You know what?
I never was in a club ever.
I was gonna segue, but
go ahead.
No, it's gone. I can't. It was a bad segue anyway.
Oh, what was the segue to?
Just any of the topics we'd written down. I don't know.
Oh, dude, I bet you would have been in a Pokemon Nuzlocke playthrough club. Okay, but here's something I want to ask you too. Both of you. Why don't you guys do? I saw this thing where people do a Pokemon playthrough at the same time.
We talked about this. We just never done it.
What is that? It's called like a Soul Link.
Yeah, yes. Soul Links are tight.
What is that?
Hit him with it.
Okay, so the way it essentially works is so like Blue and I, like the playthrough I'm doing right now. Let's say right. Essentially, Blue and I are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. But the way it works is like, let's say we're playing Pokemon Red, whatever, and we're doing a Nuzlocke. And in the first route, we catch Pokemon.
So he plays on Red and you play on Red.
Yeah.
You play on the same
or he could play Blue, like, as long as it's the same gen, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that much. But then like we're like sharing our screens so we can see what each other's doing. And then the big part of like a Soul Link is in that route, that encounter, we have to link, quote unquote, like link our Pokemon we catch, if we catch them. So let's say I run into a Scyther and he runs into a Charmander, for whatever, because it's randomized encounters, let's say. Nice. We go to try and catch him.
Be a Mewtwo?
Sure, yeah, Mewtwo. Well, hopefully not, because then we'd never catch it. But yeah, let's say it's a Mewtwo.
Paris. Just kidding. It's
yeah.
Hey,
very topical.
I'm a watcher.
So let's say Blue gets the Charmander. I go and catch my Scyther. Yes. They're now a pair. And what that means is like their souls are linked. So what happens is, let's say we're playing and in an unfortunate turn of events in a fight, Blue's Charmander faints. I just lose my Scyther now. I consider my Scyther dead. Yeah, sure, it's Charmeleon.
Do you still like name it and all the kind of things?
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing is like, yeah, they're a pair. So if one dies, the other, I lose them no matter what. Doesn't matter if mine actually died. Yeah. So now my Scyther gone. I have to get rid of it. And then you also move. A lot of people will do like when you're trying to get encounters, it has to be a type that a pairing already doesn't have. So like if we already have like a water and a pair, and he finds a water encounter, he has to keep going to find an encounter that's not the same. And then if he can't, I think we can't even do that route. And then on top of that,
same types.
Yeah, you can't like cross. And then on top of that, if he does find that encounter and fails to catch it, and I catch mine, I can't use my encounter. Yeah.
Oh,
so sick.
Yeah. So it makes it
brutal, but it's so sick.
Yeah, it makes it even more difficult. And then you just try and go and both try and obviously like complete the lock, because like
so you have to play at the same time.
Yeah, and like you're roughly in the same spot.
What he's doing?
Yeah, we you see each other's like games. So like you're essentially you try and play at the same pace. So someone's not like super far ahead. It doesn't have to be like directly spot on, but like only like a couple trainers or something, right? Like now, you want to be at the same gym.
Now, how do you capture your thing, like your DS and stuff?
It's just through.
It's usually an emulator.
Oh, you're using emulator?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you had one of those things, like the mods or whatever.
No. Well, I have a modded 3DS, and that was a nightmare.
To get those things modded was literally a small fortune.
Yeah. For that stupid Alpha Sapphire thing I did.
In addition to having to wait super long to even be able to
get one
to get the equipment for your. Oftentimes you have to literally send a 3DS.
Yeah, I don't even know how you would capture that. Like,
yeah,
it was a nightmare. So I love doing the Alpha Sapphire, but yeah, like any other one, if it can't be like an emulator, I'm out.
That's why I'm so happy Pokemon are gonna be on Switch from now on. Like, God,
makes it a lot easier.
Why do they call it a Nuzlocke?
I don't know.
Because the original person who made it was, I think it was himself Nuzlocke. It was Nuzlocke. Well, no, it was. So I think it originated from a comic because I remember being in that community.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Dude, his mascot was essentially Nuzlocke, so they started calling him Nuzlocke runs. The original concept of a Nuzlocke came from a Nuzlocke comic where people read it. It was this big thing that everyone. I made my own Nuzlocke comic back in the day. We talked about this a little bit in one of the.
I think the Legacies maybe.
Yeah,
somewhere.
No. It wasn't too long ago. We talked about this, and I was like, I maybe made a comic about and I'm pretty sure Rob asked this exact question, and I'm giving him the exact answer now.
Maybe it was with Ab at the summit, maybe.
Probably, yeah. Something like I don't even remember.
I don't know. But
so the dude made this concept of if your Pokemon is knocked out, then they're dead. So he made this comic, and his mascot was a Nuzlocke, and it was this huge thing that people read like every single week.
His mascot is a Nuzlocke. What the fuck is a Nuzlocke?
His mascot. Okay, so a Nuzlocke is
like is that like a bird or like
it's like a grass. It's a grass Pokemon that honestly. You know, like this the concept. Pokemon. Yeah, you know, like the concept. It's like if Hitmonchan had like a leaf on its head. Honestly,
yeah,
like I don't.
It evolves from Seedot.
And it was a tight comic. So this comic turned into an entire thing. Everyone starts doing Nuzlocks because they want to do their own Nuzlocke because it sounds like a tight idea. People make their own fan comics about their Nuzlocks. There's this whole forum about Nuzlocking, and eventually it just grew into something bigger than what it started as. So now everyone just does very Nuzlocke. Prevalent.
Well, the interesting thing about Nuzlocks is like because like how the comics portrayed it, it's like the stories that are created. Even if you're just playing it yourself, like one, you're being forced to use Pokemon you probably wouldn't otherwise, or Pokemon you typically wouldn't. And then it's like seeing who can pull through, or like what unfortunate events happen. You kind of create your own storyline.
Yeah,
and that's why I like doing it. Like all the unfortunate things, like the meme of like Noah the Paris, who I thought was a Mewtwo at first, like he was disregarded, and then he had his moam, like all that kind of stuff. Like that just makes it way more interesting.
Yeah, that's why people loved the comic back in the day, because all these moments that happen, he just made the comic off of events that happened in his game. And I mean, the events in game alone are so entertaining. To dramatize them in comic form would make like genuinely super interesting stories.
Were the comic book ones randomized or no? Like were those like normal?
Probably the first one. I doubt it was randomized.
Yeah, randomized like modifications to the Nuzlocke didn't come till later.
But I know.
Fun to do.
Well, like people ask me, like, what do you do? Like, how do you record this? the thing is, like, especially on the thing, I don't think I can say like, oh, I do an emulate or something, because that's like, I guess technically, like, I mean, emulators are technically like, you know,
a bannable offense on Twitch, at least,
or like illegal, I guess, right? Because technically you're getting the game for free. The way I see it, though, is I've bought all these games before.
So come on.
Yeah. So
come on.
But
I
like,
mean,
I can't.
Emulators are technically illegal on Twitch, but also
come on.
It's not like it's usually, generally speaking, it's not like staff members just come into your channel and are like,
Hey,
"Hey, you got proof of purchase, bro?"
Where is it? Show me the receipt.
Bannable offense. Come on. Then me playing on emulator is not a bannable offense.
Well, if they knew the steps to try and actually mod something like I did my Alpha Sapphire, they'd be like, okay, yeah, understandable. Have a nice day. Because it's insane.
Are the steps hard to do it on an emulator to randomize it and stuff, or no?
Not at all.
No.
There's huge emulators now, and people have like everything literally built into the settings. You can be like, change this setting.
Can you do one where it's like the national Pokédex, but you're just playing like on the latest handheld one, or no?
Well, technically the only game that doesn't have a national Pokédex is Sword and Shield. So
yeah,
in all the other games, you could literally just spawn the Pokemon in. It doesn't matter.
Why did you do Nuzlocke in that one?
What, Sword and Shield?
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but
it just wouldn't
it's
be
a lot harder to homebrew a Switch than it is to play through like an already ready to go emulator.
Yeah, I guess.
Which I have looked into it. Maybe one day I'll bother. But like the disappointing thing with like Sword and Shield, for instance, is like right now with my Black and White 2 randomized game, there's more Pokemon in that game to randomize than there would be Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
Even though it's Gen 5. Just because they didn't put in
no way to import Pokemon that aren't in the game.
No.
Already.
I have to admit though, as much as I don't like national decks not being a thing, I could not imagine having any semblance of competitive balance with all the old mechanics and all the old Pokemon. Because I've been playing a lot of the ranked battles, and oh my god, it's already getting pretty nutty.
On the Switch?
Yeah. I want to get to Master Ball tier.
We believe. I was telling you, I like to watch the competitive people play.
I love it.
And then
I spent so much time watching Wolfie. Like, so much time, it's actually probably unhealthy.
I have a question.
What's up?
So competitive Pokemon, I get the card aspect. Like, ooh, like I teched this into my deck. Can you like tech moves onto a certain type of Pokemon? Like if you're like, ooh, I want my Dragonite, but I want it to have these move sets, like these kind of moves, or like some but banned.
Well, I mean, you can create like techs. I mean, there's a limit though. Like for instance, what is it? Mew or whatever is the only Pokemon that can learn any move. So like some Pokemon just can't learn certain moves or be taught certain moves. But yeah, there's like there are certain Pokemon.
There's a lot of tech to competitive Pokemon. There's actually people like assume that it's like, oh, it's just Pokemon. There's only 4 moves, but there's like
that's what I think.
There's there is a huge learning curve to competitive Pokemon. Like gigantic, huge learning curve.
Leer and those kind of attacks, like
I can guarantee you, there's a lot of moves you wouldn't expect to be.
Rose.
Like, there's a lot of competitive moves that you wouldn't expect to be like meta or super meta.
Yeah, because I mean, like I'm like the little kid who's like, when you're playing Pokemon, it's like this move doesn't attack, me no learn.
Trash.
Yeah.
Whereas like there's literally some Pokemon movesets that don't have a single attacking move.
Yeah. So it's way more complicated. And the thing too, though, is like you'll see text. Let's say you see a Dragapult. Someone sends out a Dragapult. You can assume it's a special attacker, but it could be a physical attacker, or it could be built with like Focus Sash Surf to like weakness policy. Somebody like there's so many different ways you can build certain Pokemon too, so you don't immediately know what you're fighting, or like did they tech protect on this person, or do they have this, or blah blah blah, or like what item are they using? If it's like a choice band, then you can probably guess what moves they have, yada yada.
And then you start adding like items into the mix, like fruits with choice band stuff. You could have stuff where it's oh, Tyranitar, oh, this move is super effective against it. Of course I'm going to use it. It'll one-shot it. And then the Tyranitar is actually built to be high HP and it has weakness policy, and suddenly you just played into what the Tyranitar wanted you to do because that Tyranitar
activated my trap card.
There's so much tech to it. Like my team alone that I just built. Team? So I just built this team I just finished building it like a week ago because I tried to get to Master Ball.
They're only Switch like Pokedex available, right? Like this is
Yeah. Sword and Shield
There's
available.
there's a limit right now to
Okay.
to who you can have.
And like legendaries you can't use.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Oh, okay. So just to show how deep Pokemon can get, right? Because I'm gonna start going over nerd shit, and people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But the real ones are gonna be like, "Oh, Blue plays VGC. All right, Poggers." So
I play VGC as well.
currently, right, there's like you have the current national Pokedex available in Sword and Shield. So there's so many things. But the meta right now is like stuff like Togekiss, fairies in general. Follow Me is a move that so I don't really play singles, I play VGC, which is doubles. So Togekiss is like the big thing where it's got this move called Follow Me where you could direct all attacks toward it at the current turn. People use that to like for setup sweepers. Yes, Rob.
So you say double battles. Does that still mean you have a total of 6 Pokemon? Or does it go up to 12 now?
So in VGC, the rule set is that you can only bring 4 into a battle.
Oh.
But you have 6 total to pick from. So it's kind of like a
mind game.
Like a picking and counter picking.
Ooh, so it's
aspect.
like, ooh, they think I'm gonna. Ooh, they're like, they have a Beedrill. Like Beedrill counters me. I hope they don't pick that Beedrill.
Yeah, but then they're like, they see my Beedrill and think that I'm gonna counter Beedrill, so I'm not gonna bring Beedrill, but instead I'm gonna lead with it. So there's that kind of mind games.
So that all leads up to what I want my team, right? Because I don't want to give you like no context to how it works. So my team is based around Dragapult, right? My team's based around Dragapult with weakness policy. So I want Dragapult. And what weakness policy does is when he gets hit by a weak attack that's super effective against him, his attack and special attack are raised by
he's
2
cool
stages.
Looking. He's like a F-18 fighter jet.
Yeah, so my whole team is based around Dragapult setting up with either Dragon Dance or getting his weakness policy off.
Is he shiny?
Yeah. So it's pretty tight. You know me, Rob.
He's yellow.
He's tight.
Yeah, we got a real grind though.
Dragapult, Silvally, Whimsicott, Rotom.
What form?
Somebody make fan art of this.
What form of Rotom?
And Mimikyu. So my team is like this based around this triple ghost team that has like super popular in VGC at one point. And the whole gimmick of the team, here we go in nerd territory. The whole gimmick of the team is I have Silvally and Whimsicott are based around being like the leads of the team. So both of those are designed.
Whimsicott looks like a flower.
Whimsicott used to be actually like super on every single team really on VGC. So my team's based around kind of a gimmick with like a tanky weakness policy Dragapult. So I have Whimsicott, which is there to throw this thing called the Salicberry Fling. Fling is a dark type move, so you throw Salicberry at Dragapult, it increases Dragapult's speed and activates his weakness policy. So that's one gimmick. And that's designed to just like counter teams who don't have like Follow Me or like Trick Room and stuff. And then I have Silvally, who is a normal type, and he has this move called Explosion. So Dragapult is a ghost type. So Explosion will not. So Explosion is a move that literally tanks your Pokemon. Like you literally sack them on, they blow up. But the move does like ridiculous. Yeah,
I used to play
damage.
like the Nintendo 64 when they would literally just like.
Yeah, it used to like self-destruct.
Yeah.
So the catch is that Dragapult is ghost. So when I explode, my Silvally will damage everyone but my Dragapult. So that turn, my Dragapult will just Dragon Dance, and then hopefully get hit by like something with weakness policy later on in the match. And that team is there to counter stuff like Trick Room and Follow Me teams, which are so Trick Room is a strategy where you literally reverse speed. So you usually have like really slow Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that there to bait those. That doesn't always work, right? Because sometimes people will do this thing called Full Room. Well, they'll lead with 2 Trick Room Pokemon to guarantee a Trick Room gets set up. So that's why I have Mimikyu on the team with Trick Room. So if they have a Full Room team, Mimikyu will just Trick Room their Trick Room back, and now we're back to square one. Pokemon competitive gets really fucking deep. All right, so and then Rotom is just there as good like typing, and then Aegislash is a really good strong steel type that can.
But what is
it? You can't just roll just, like
Rotom?
The best Pokemon. You know what I mean?
No, you cannot just roll best Pokemon because every team.
There's no such thing as a best Pokemon, really.
Yeah. kind of the beauty of competitive Pokemon is the fact that no team will ever be able to fully prepare for everything. There's so much in the game that you're never going to be able to make a team that fully compensates for every single strategy in the game.
Are there banned Pokemon that are in the game, or just besides only legendaries?
So like with Smogon, they'll like that's like kind of like a group, like a public community made tier list, and those things get banned as what people deem like is unfair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to VGC, it's completely dictated by Nintendo, so it depends on the rule set for the year. So this year's VGC is, there's no legendaries. You can't use any legendaries, like box legendaries, and that's pretty much it. Some years there's not a ban list at all, so you could use anything you want.
I think it's way more interesting without legendaries.
Yeah, 100%.
Otherwise,
legendaries just like centralize it so much.
Did they used to have legendaries at one point?
Almost always, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Just the 2019 VGC was like straight up. It was the Ultra Series, and it was like you can straight up use anything.
Well, and then before that, with like XY Alpha Sapphire, was just Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, or Mega Rayquaza, just over and over and over.
Hit us with a Mr. Fruit.
Right after this ad break. Listen, if you're still using one of the big wireless providers this year, have you asked yourself what you're paying for? Between expensive retail stores, inflated prices, and hidden fees, you're being taken advantage of because they know you'll pay. Enter Mint Mobile. Provides the same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile saves on retail locations and overhead, then passes those savings directly to you. For me, it was incredibly easy. They mailed me my SIM card, popped it into my phone. Coverage on my phone has been everything I could have asked for, and all of it was painless, easy. I didn't have to go into any store. No hassle. Mint Mobile makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month. Every plan comes with unlimited nationwide talk and text. And with Mint Mobile, stop paying for unlimited data you'll never use. Choose between plans with 3, 8, or 12 gigabytes of 4G LTE data. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch your old wireless bill and start saving with Mint Mobile today. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG. Welcome back to GG Over Easy, episode whatever it may or may not be. We're just going to say ESPN2. And we have a couple stuff to talk about because, like I said, we're very topical people talking about Nuzlocke, which are super new. That's a new thing. Like
totally new.
Yeah.
Pokey what?
Yeah, exactly. Pokemon like that's this new thing. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Kind of like it's really starting to pick up steam. We have quite a few things. Actually. I mean, where to start? We can start with, I'll touch on this, and then we'll have our expert, join us here. Guardian Games in Destiny 2.
Oh, Mr. Fruit, why?
Because
Guardians out there,
it's
man.
exactly what I thought it would be, and I'm still disappointed.
I
don't know what you guys were expecting. Let's be real.
I was expecting not much, and it still let me down.
Yeah. So I was expecting something, not nothing.
It is literally reskin faction rallies, but I would argue not even as interesting.
The less interesting faction rallies from D2 Year 1.
Which, mind you, just like Trials of Osiris, they said they took away to retool and to figure out where its space lies in Destiny. Like Trials of Osiris isn't right here. So we'll wait a couple years and literally give you the exact same thing.
Half of Trials of Osiris.
Yeah, with Guardian Games, what they meant is we're going to take this away so in one season we can say Guardian Games and bring it back.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like this is them testing how they want new faction rallies to be, but I mean, yeesh.
I feel bad for all the suckers that are like, dude, Titans are ruling, man. Like, Hunters drool. It's like, God, man, you guys are just turning in bounties.
I think
like, there's no way of determining which is better than the other.
I think that's the only thing that makes it interesting for people is that you can be like, haha, Titans won. Like, get destroyed.
But like, turn in more bounties.
But like the problem is though, like what 60% of the player base are hunters.
Hunters,
So why do we so fundamentally already, there's
wouldn't
really
be
no
much
point
of a
for
guarding
guarding
games.
games because we already know the normie class is going to be the highest earning. So they had to retool it down. What they should have done, in my opinion, is had like a thing where you have to go into the Crucible and beat the shit out of other hunters and warlocks and whoever gets the most points appropriate to
have like a special matchmaking thing,
or or which class gets the most kills and strikes, or for the day, yesterday was warlocks, so you guys get this cool Vanguard package, or anything.
That's too cool. Stop.
Anything
That's
more
too
than
cool.
Hey, so who does the most bounties today? Oh, tight.
Yeah.
You guys did it.
So what do you do?
There's bounties. And then
So she
turn 'em
comes
in.
to you and she goes, welcome to the Guardian Games. Like, do you want loot? And you go, yeah. And you go,
except there's not much.
And then what does she do? She goes, okay, do this. And it's just a bounty.
Well, lots of bounties.
And then say I do the bounty. Now what? I go turn it in.
Uh-huh.
I pound it in. Say, yeah, I turn this in.
Uh-huh.
And then I get gear from that, right?
No.
Okay. No gear yet. Why?
No, you get gear. It's just not like actually
It's just
meaningful.
random
Meaningful.
blues or something?
Yeah, there's nothing. You
Okay.
really don't get anything.
The
for it.
only exclusive stuff are like some ghost shells.
The even bigger kick in the dick is that the medals are literally just bounties that go in your quest
Yeah.
inventory.
The bigger kick.
Like,
So they literally give you like, hey, we know you like bounties. What if we put bounties in your bounties?
someone
Right in there.
someone had a good idea. Like they did it in Halo 3, which by the way was one of my favorite playlists, multi-team. Except this time you bring multi-team back, so it's like 3v3v3 or 4v4v4, and you just can only match with your class. So it'd be literally a game of Titans versus Hunters versus Warlocks.
Yeah, but
And then we
the
have a
problem
new
is you could also
mode-ish.
be killing hunters as well. You'd have to only queue into a game where it was hunter warlock. And
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would only be able to matchmake if your team was either all Titans or like it would just be like a freelance queue. So you just go in solo and they pair you with your team.
okay.
But then, like, literally, you're competing against the others. You could see who won the most games, who
And then,
got
like,
the most
if you got
second.
first, you donate like 1 point to the cause, or like 3 points. Second, you get like 2 points, and then third, you get like 1 point to the cause. And,
Something like that.
keep track.
See,
That's,
what makes
like,
this even worse is
super easy.
You guys talk about all this competition and how tight it would be. The worst part is the main reason for people even doing this Guardian game is for that new LMG, the Heir Apparent, which is a tight LMG. It's actually pretty sick.
It's pretty fun.
Is that the exotic that came out?
Yeah, and
I
it's
saw
supposed to
Sammy
be.
tweet it.
Yeah, so it's specifically a Guardian's reward. The problem is the most efficient way to get it is to literally play, because you need
Every
triumphs.
class.
Okay, so you need triumphs, you need medals, you need to complete triumphs by getting medals or different whatever you have to do for Guardian games to even get the triumph to get the Heir Apparent. The problem is the most efficient way to do that is to play on all three classes so you finish the triumphs quicker.
To like do exactly what you're not supposed to do in Guardian games. And play,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
other
Yeah.
classes.
And then what I also don't understand is why are we getting what seems, which doesn't even seem, it's literally like a Colossus's gun, a Red Legion, like a Cabal's gun in Guardian games. You couldn't put this somewhere else that would make sense.
Kidding.
Yeah, it just kind of like here.
Take this one.
But at the very least, it's a new exotic. It's not like a new reprise. It's a new exotic. Give it to that, and it's fun to use.
Yeah, it is actually super tight.
What's the exotic thing on it, or what makes it cool?
When you can only shoot it when it's fully spun up. It's kind of like the Sweet Business, except Sweet Business can automatically start shooting. But you're like, and then once it's fully spun up, you can shoot it whenever. And when it's fully spun up, if you're full shields, you get an arc over shield. And you run around shooting people. But also what's interesting, though, is while you use it in PvP, it counts as like a PvE Colossus' shield. So if someone uses an arc shield against you while you have that shield, it actually burns it really quick. And it'll like burst and hurt your teammates around you like it would normally in PvE. So it's like a give and a take. Like you could get that overshield, you have that, but if someone has an arc, just like normally, you'd be in trouble.
It really is. It's really cool. It's just
That's a cool, interesting, like kind of way to play around a gun.
Yeah, and then there's Bounty Simulator.
And guess how you get it? You do much better.
Yeah. On every class, by the way, like Blue said, in the thing that you're supposed to, whatever. So that's Destiny news. You know, we always get updated.
PvE, the only PvE that this season had, right?
No, it has bunkers, which
no.
Yeah, which just make you play the exact same thing. So there's really not PvE stuff.
There really wasn't any new PvE content this season. I'm hoping for more splits, for more to do before the end of the season, because they said they still have surprises.
Hey,
but when Bungie says surprises, they give us Bastion like 3 weeks early.
You did get the Quidditch public event, okay? So
what's that? Quidditch public event?
It's the Seraph bunker, just the normal like Seraph public event where you just go around throwing the orbs at like or it's just a glorified public event.
So I mean, literally
I don't know how you do it, Blue.
Literally the TLDR of this season is, hey, what did we get for PvE? We got a public event and some bounties.
Nice.
I saw cheating trials was like 50%.
Oh yeah, dude. And then they see so people were like, here's my biggest issue with the community. Okay, I might go on a little off here, but please forgive me. Here's my biggest issue with the community is anytime Bungie gives us a small carrot of hope, the entire community is like, oh, Bungie, God, oh, it's so delicious. Thank you so much for this delicious food. And literally, the TWAB was literally just like, hey, we know there's cheating. We're still not going to do anti-cheat, but we're working on it. Everyone's like, oh, thank you so much, Bungie. Finally, some anti-cheat.
Yes.
I'm just like,
yes.
I'm like, wait. They literally didn't say they're doing anti-cheat because they're not gonna. All they said was that they're going to start banning people who play with cheaters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, you're applauding it for something they should have already been doing? Okay, well, that's a little weird. And then they're just like, oh, yeah. And also in trials, we're making some changes. I'm like, oh, you mean changes that were in D1? And the community's like, oh, so delicious, so good. Look, man, this community is really nice, but you guys have such low standards. It gets really depressing when we actually have to get like real changes to actually make a real difference. So when Bungie's like, yeah, we're going to think about anti-cheat, your response shouldn't be, Bungie, wow, really great communication. The response should be, why don't we already have that? I'm upset. It was just...
They cheat on you, they came back with like some flowers and chocolate.
You're like, oh, yeah, we love you. Yeah, you're forgiven.
And they're like, okay.
And look, communication's good. I like communication. I like they communicate this TWAB. That's super tight. But if they communicate with really bad answers, I'm not going to be like, God, Bungie, you did an incredible job this week, and I hope you realize you're doing great. Please invite me to the summit. No, fuck that.
Please.
How about we actually get like changes to the game that matter? Telling people that you're not going to do anti-cheat, and then people reacting with a nice. That's like, come on. What are we doing? Why are we here? Also, geez, like,
not wrong,
I want to go deeper, but
I'm not wrong.
I'm just depressed. I just the response I saw to it on Twitter was just like, come on, we should be asking for better than this. It's the same reason why people keep like getting super hype over returning exotics, and it's like, you mean,
oh my, that pisses me off more than anything.
You had these D1. Why are you getting excited over
that? Makes me mad. Like, I'm not even kidding. That grinds my gears is when people get excited about like, oh, dude, the last word. Yes.
Yeah.
I love D2.
I ran with that in D1. So
I love D2. I really do. But right when we're getting, it takes so little for the community to go from yay to, oh, this really sucks. And then immediately back to yay. But we don't get anything.
We're getting yayed over nothing.
Yeah, we're not getting any, there's no reason to say yay.
Well, it's like when Chris Rock talks about like taking care of your kids. He's like, I take care of my kids. It's like, you're supposed to, you dumb motherfucker. Like, so funny.
Well, Sue, I don't know, man. I'm not expecting a whole lot from next season. Am I going to play the fucking shit out of it? Absolutely, because I'm too far deep in this game.
It's like, hey, we paid the rent and the utility this week. It's like, yeah, Bungie, thanks. Like,
well, that's what I don't understand. Like, most of the time, you're the one that chose to have a kid, right? That was your choice. You should have known what you were signed up for. And even if you didn't, and you took the kid on, you now know what you have to like accept those responsibilities. So like saying like you're doing them a favor by feeding them, by giving them somewhere to stay. What do you mean? Like that's what you do. They're your kid. That's bare minimum. You're doing bare minimum.
Bungie, take care of your kid.
Yeah, Bungie's doing bare minimum. They left for Sagegi's
social services.
Yeah, they left for Sagegi's, but they're sending like child support a little bit. Like every now and then, we're like, oh, our payment's a little late, man. Whatever, they're fine. Like that's what we got right now. And then they show up one day, like, oh, I forgot my lighter. They're like, oh, Dad, like, oh my God, like, you're back. Like, no, I'm just headed back. Like, oh my God, I love you so much.
I love this game. But if anything, this season needs to teach Bungie is the same thing they should have learned from the Gambit season: is you can't make an entire season based around a single mode and expect it to just work out just fine because people are like, oh, I love Trials. Yeah, like people on Twitter love Trials, but what about the people that like play your game every day?
I'm gonna be honest. I probably have one of the most unlikable D2 opinions, or like Destiny future opinions. I think PvP needs to just go entirely. Like if PvP was, they need to have it in some sort of way. Like if they have it like in a lost sector or something like that, someplace where you can go and do that. But like just as a mode, I think it just needs to go. Like you need to focus on what the game is.
I don't think that's unpopular. I don't think it's necessary to take out PvP though. As much as I
don't think it's necessary to take it out. I think they would just make them focus on.
It would make it easier for them to actually
to like balance changes and have things.
I don't think PvP needs to get taken out to be successful and like properly do what like the game could be as like a true like FPS MMO. I don't think it needs to be taken out. I do agree. If it were taken out, it would make it a lot easier for them to do it. But so many of the changes that need to be made in the game for it to really become like a true RPG MMO shooter are things that don't like mutually affect PvP and PvE together. It's just I don't know. I don't really think I feel like I'm always playing a game that I don't know what the direction is going to be, because I don't know if they want the game to be like a true FPS MMO. I don't know if they want the game to be as it is right now, where it's basically just like an activity PvP PvE game. I don't know if they want the game to be more competitive as like a viewer, like a Twitch like watchable game, because they do all these things where it's like specifically for streamers and YouTubers, but then they bring back Trials with like half the content. Like I don't even think they really know what they want the game to be. And my main problem is that it sucks when they don't know what they want it to be, because now I don't know what I'm going to get in the future from the game. And I don't think I ever have known exactly what I'm going to get from it. Mr. Fruit, hit us with it.
You want me to hit you with some better gaming news?
Oh.
Or I can hit you with
what you were going to say.
I was going to say. There's plenty of Destiny stuff I could talk about. First off, they need a good design document, because apparently they lack one, which just tells everybody it's a gaming design document. Yeah, which shows like pillars of a game, right? So like when you have a big studio, let's say, like even if you're working with like 5+ people on a game, let's say you make a design document. It's essentially like a blueprint for the game, and it has pillars saying like this game at its core is like, for instance, FPS MMO Lite. We want the game to feel like this because this is what we hope to achieve. These are the things we like artistically. This is the direction we like. Gameplay wise, this is what we're looking for. Player wise, this is what we're hoping for them to feel. And it just feels like they just don't know what they're doing. But I mean, like D1 did it better. Like right now, Blue's like, I don't even know what the game is. The thing is, like Blue was saying, PvP isn't the problem. Right now, the problem is, what am I even playing for? There's no loot. Yeah. And that's the game. You want to get loot, but there's not even a reason.
What I was about to ask you guys is like, why do you guys like? And it wasn't like a meme, like even like a meme question. It's like, why do you play Destiny?
Because it's fun to shoot things.
It's the world itself is so tight. I know people meme on
and
the
abilities.
The story is truly bad. The abilities are. Oh wait, what?
The story's terrible. I wasn't talking about the abilities.
The story is awful. Yeah, story's awful, but the lore behind it is super tight. The world they actually built is tight. There's just something about the game where there's just enough sci-fi and abilities to where you feel like you're powerful, but it's not enough to where it just totally takes away from the guns either. And I don't know. There's no other game that tries to bridge the gap between co-op, FPS, RPG, MMO. Like there's no other game that truly does that. So I guess the reason I play Destiny is because I mean realistically, there's no other game that does what D2 does. You can't tell me there's another game that is similar to D2 fundamentally. Like maybe D2 has a lot of similar things about it from other games, but
like in terms of a looter shooter kind of thing, if I had to pick between playing those games, I would pick D2.
Like I know Borderlands exists, but Borderlands is so
Inherently
much more limited on what.
Yeah,
and I can only play that for so long before like beating the boss in 2.2 seconds is like the fun you get from it, or like trying to build the perfect kind of build for a specific boss. I don't know.
Yeah, D2 is just like a true social could be FPS RPG MMO, but it's just never quite bites pulls the trigger on that. And
I mean the problem we're seeing with it is literally what we've seen like the past decade with like MMOs, because it's MMO light-ish. It's like literally we don't see new MMOs because of how expensive and risky it is to like do something like that. And this new looter shooter FPS MMO light kind of genre that we have like with Destiny is like almost equally as difficult. Like we're seeing Bungie, we see how successful the game has been, the money they've gotten, the people they've worked with, and they're still struggling to do it.
And realistically, Bungie is the only studio that's tried it because they're the only studio that realistically had the money to pursue it at the point when they were at, because it costs so much money to develop a game like this. I don't think people realize how much it could, even for just like normal guns, like to play test them and to go through the process of making like new perks, new exotics. The amount of money it costs is astronomical, and the fact that we get this stuff is still pretty crazy to me. But simultaneously, it's also like,
how do you fuck it up?
Most of the exotics are like useless though, but like at the same time, it's like it's crazy that we get them, but like also,
so much of the exotic armor is just wasted. If some of them just straight up don't work.
I have a question for you guys. What is the worst thing to happen to Destiny
this season?
Destiny 2. It could have been.
What if that's where I think silver and like that store is like the worst thing to happen to Destiny.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's the worst thing.
I mean,
I think if those were like put into strikes, like a weekly rotation, like, hey, this strike, this week you'll have this thing and you can run it unlimited times. And it's like, this has a 1 in 25 chance to drop. This has like a 1 in 50. Like, can you get this sparrow? And then you can still have like the silver store or whatever, but just make it a little bit like lighter and stuff, like a player banner or something like that. I hate that they have these freaking skins behind pay $10.
It's certainly a problem. I don't think it's Destiny's main problem. I think Destiny's main bunch. Oh, for sure. Yeah. As far as loot goes, for sure, that would help the loot. I think the main problem is Destiny has never, honestly, in D1 they were closer. I don't think D1's better getting to D2, but Destiny has never like really decided on what it wants to be. So it's always being pulled in different directions.
What do you want?
Like, what do you want?
They don't know.
Tell me.
I think that's their primary problem.
Just
and
tell me, Bungie.
Continues happening. But I mean, there's no other game like D2, so I'm going to keep playing it. There's truly no other game like D2.
When is the next season? Is a season an expansion or no?
No.
No. So these seasons are...
They replaced what we used to know as like expansions, right? But
yeah. So these literally are, I mean, they literally said these are not expansions like in the last like previous year of Destiny, where in the grand scheme of things, we got crazy amount of content last year. Like it was pretty ridiculous. This year they just wanted to call them seasons. I mean, these seasons are very inexpensive. You didn't pay very much to get these seasons regardless of the content that went into them. So,
well, the game is free, right?
The game's also free, yeah. I mean, it's free. You still have to buy like the expansions, and to get this season, you still have to pay to get the stuff. But
yeah, I guess. So
these aren't true expansions.
So are we ever gonna get one again? or is it just like this kind of?
Well, we're gonna get like, assuming then there's been leaks and stuff, like we're gonna get a fall DLC. But they mentioned the reason we have seasons now is because they couldn't keep up what they used to do. Like they set, or at least what they said was they set themselves up for an impossible pace that they couldn't keep doing. Which was.
They also had 3 studios working on one game, so and now they're just down to 1. So
we saw how big. Like, I don't think we all fully appreciated like how much like Vicarious Visions and stuff contributed. They did a lot.
We appreciate how much we got last year. Forsaken's content cycle. That was the most
Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken was great. That's what I'm saying. And then it just fall hit again.
I think a lot of people. Nothing but love to Bungie. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought because Activision was leaving that we would get like a total identity
solved. Like, see ya.
I think everyone thought we were going to finally see like what Bungie's identity was going to be for the game.
Well, we have.
I think Bungie is still figuring things out as an independent studio, so I'm not like going to say I miss Activision because I feel like it's a little over the top to say right now. But I think it's obvious that Activision was definitely not a bad thing for Bungie because they got all these studios to work on their goals. We had so much content last year. And to say Activision was like bring Bungie down, I don't think we have any proof as far as like what we've gotten content wise to see that yet. So hopefully Bungie proves me wrong. And
speaking of publishers, though, helping out other people like Activision did to Bungie, Riot Games announced for the first time they're helping publish Hytale.
What's
you guys see that? That's the new like Minecraft-esque game that came from the people who made the like most popular infamous server Hytale on Minecraft. It's like Minecraft but with like quests and RPG and all this kind of stuff. And it was already looking dope. And then Riot Games a couple days ago was like, yo, by the way, we're helping now.
You sparked my penis.
You should look it up though. Like it seriously looks like, because literally Hytale, modded and made servers and everything like the way they wanted Minecraft to be, which is like more in depth, like RPG systems, questing stuff. Now that you're like, you know, why don't we just make a game? So that's what they're doing. And
I'm doing a Mr. Fruit and I'm making a tab for it right now. Oh, Hytale. I thought it was like high, like.
Oh no. Yeah, Hytale. That's very promising, especially with like someone like Riot Games behind them, because Riot has never done anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they're able to help them.
I see Riot trying to be like a Valve or something like that.
They're trying to be more than a Valve. They literally have the biggest game like internationally, and they are trying to make. I think Riot and Epic are both trying to do like a similar thing, and it's not like it's a bad business decision where they're basically trying to take all the most popular genres and say, hey,
we've got one too.
These people did it pretty good, but imagine if we had more money than them and did it.
Remember that
I'm here for it, dude.
And remember it used to be Bethesda, that like Bethesda was like the creme de la creme, and then they kind of fell. And then it was Blizzard, and then they fell, and now it's Riot. I guess it's been Riot in the terms of MOBA. But.
Riot's been a little more low-key US-wise because Riot is such an international presence. I don't think here in the States we understand just how big their
footprint
is. Yeah.
Which is...
But it's huge. I mean, Riot is... It's scary.
Yeah.
Not as big as Valve, though.
Internationally, Riot...
I would say there's more Steam, like a Steam client download.
Well, Steam's not as big in like China and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would still think the numbers are still higher than... If you could count the League client, like when you open that, and then the Steam client.
I mean, the most popular game, like the most popular FPS is literally, I think, Crossfire or something, which has its own launcher and is some janky like 2000, like year 2000 FPS. That's like CS:GO is better than it, but it's just what like China and Asia play. Like I think we are just here and we see the influence of like Steam. Like, oh, everybody has it
because it's such a it's so ubiquitous in the Western.
But that's not how it is.
I just think everybody has Steam. Maybe I'm just
that's the American in you. You stupid American.
Yeah.
I'm a stupid. You're on the wrong train. You know.
I think you greatly undervalue just how gigantic League of Legends alone has as a footprint just in general on just the global gaming economy. And man, if Riot is successful with Valorant, maybe Valorant might not be the biggest game here in like over in the States,
the US,
and the UK, which it already seems like it's getting pretty high up there, right? As far as like 1.2 million on Twitch in its first day, right? So for that, I mean, and that game clearly appeals to a more Asian market as well. So we're not just going to see, even if it's not successful here, as long as they find success, which is their primary goal, I think ultimately.
Well, I mean,
is to find success on an international scale, not just here.
Even just thinking about how you're mentioning, like they're trying to do games but better and stuff. Hightail would go under that, right? Microsoft has Minecraft, which is just a monster, right?
Love it.
Riot, though, can now have a competitor, especially if it takes off, which you immediately have people that are going to be interested. But like now they can say, oh, we house under this. We also have Hightail. Like I wouldn't be surprised soon if they just have their own launcher. I'm surprised they don't yet.
Card game.
Yeah, they have. But yeah, they're like hitting all the stuff. They're going to have a fighting game. They're going to have
the fighting game. It doesn't matter. It does not matter if the fighting game is good or bad. The pure fact that it's going to be a huge Riot-backed fighting game.
Are the champs like the fighters?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's going to be so many people, so many pros playing Riot's fighting game.
The set is going to be on there.
Well, all we saw was in the like 2-second footage we saw way back when they announced it, it was Darius like dunking on an Ari. And I was like, Darius is in, I'm in.
Oh, is he your main?
I just love Darius. Champ? I just have like a couple champs like thematically I really like. But
so much of that.
I'm not even the thing too though is like what they're probably going to do too, which will immediately draw people, especially the fighting game communities. They're going to have an online that isn't garbage. Because that's a problem with a whole bunch of fighting games.
Oh, like servers?
Yeah.
It's a problem with every single fighting game, bar like something. I mean, like bar like Tekken, maybe, if that.
I don't know. But like we see what they're trying to do, even just with like Valorant servers, tick rates, all that kind of stuff. Now imagine they have some like, because the problem is it's usually like peer-to-peer, or not peer-to-peer. I think that's actually when it's a problem. But they're going to have something that makes it so that like fighting game with the most likely reduced latency,
reliable internet,
yeah,
most reliable network, because that's the biggest problem with Ultimate would be such
garbage
so
online, dude,
of a game if the online was not Nintendo Online.
Oh my god,
when's the next fighter launch?
Even Dragon Ball FighterZ, which probably has one of the better net codes, people still complain about that all the time.
I don't know, Rob, but I was gonna mention, I don't know if you saw the tweet, Blue. So where some guy was trying to say, like, how can people say MKLeo is the best when he's not winning these Wi-Fi tournaments right now?
And it's like, okay, the heart and soul of fighting games is not Wi-Fi. One, because
I didn't even know they were holding tournaments on
Wi-Fi.
That's all they can do right now.
One, because of the pure nature of networks, you're never going to get the purest, what's the word? Jesus, I'm having a huge brain fart.
Like,
you don't get the true integrity
feedback,
of a fighting game.
Reaction time.
No, integrity. I think is what I was going for.
Okay.
The true integrity of a fighting game is in not having any like network, inconsistencies, and that's just naturally how it's always going to be. So
being able to react properly and knowing that if you click this button, it's going to happen. Like this is a frame 2 move. It's going to come out frame 2. Yeah. And so someone was
truly so bad. It's truly a different game if you from online to LAN, 100%.
It was such a hot take. I was like, bruh, you're a clown, dude.
Such a hot take.
Trying to say that Wi-Fi dictates if you're a good player or not, like, bruh.
But if Riot Games can make a fighting game that comes close to the integrity of LAN, then I mean,
could you
literally have people are going to swarm to that. Fighting game pros are going to play the absolute shit out of it.
You're already going to get tons of them that go there. Right now I'm 140 something, I think.
Could you imagine at some point that like that roster gets up to like, even if being at like 50 or 60 would be nuts.
I mean, I can't imagine they're going to go that crazy, especially because at that point, balance integrity. Like,
Yeah.
how do you have 60 fighters that are all?
How do they have a MOBA then with that many then?
Well, that's
And they just keep making more.
I mean, MOBAs are. I mean, the difference between MOBAs and fighting games is MOBAs are simple. Each character has
and
5 or 6 moves.
there's more nuance because like a fighting game, straight up frame data can just determine whether or not like a character's good.
Yeah, fighting game is all straight up. Each character has dozens of moves, and each of those moves, depending on what fighting game you're playing, will interact in different ways with other parts of their move set. Combos get taken into account. People make their own combos. Some moves are strictly for setting up. Other moves are literally just part of combos. So there's so much nuance to fighting games. Whereas in League, the nuance is not about how well you play your character all the time, but more about how you play with your team, how like your game sense. Whereas fighting games, it's like just beat the fuck out of each other with your characters.
As long as they have Set and Kinnan, I'll be fine. But then again, I don't know how they'll have Kinnan in it.
Well, I think
or Acel for Blue.
If they're smart, the thing they'll do is very similar to what like Dragon Ball FighterZ did, where there's an easier combo system built in to make you feel like even if you like I don't know these bread and butter combos, if I mash square and I'm hitting it and they're not blocking, like, oh wow, I did a combo. I think that's going to be, they need to have that thing where it's like low
Mega 5 head.
Yeah, like a low barrier of entry, like FighterZ, where you can
or at least,
do this, whatever.
Or at least have the illusion of barrier of entry,
yeah,
right?
Which I think FighterZ does.
So successful.
Yeah.
Smash is actually one of the least accessible fighting games.
Oh yeah,
but it's actually such
throw someone against like a competitive guy, they're gonna be like,
they'll be like, what am I doing?
Pretty
but it has the illusion of accessibility because there's all the characters you're familiar with, and I think that's where. Oh my god! Now that I'm thinking about it, holy shit, bro! Riot's gonna have literally the double feature. They're gonna have characters people are familiar with, so people are gonna want to play despite being truly awful.
Like me.
In addition, if they were to really like implement how easy like the auto combo system with fighters, oh my god!
And they'll have skins on there probably for those champs.
That'd be sick. That's what I'm saying. Like, give them a couple years and we'll like look back, and as long as they don't mess it up like Bethesda or something. Which, to be fair, I think I'm actually gonna go back and try Fallout 76 here soon.
I've
heard good things about the DLC.
Positive.
Yeah. So it would be hypocritical of me to be like, this game still sucks when it's, like a year and a half later. We'll see where it is. The game did suck and they messed up.
Terrible.
But we can see. I mean,
I just love the Fallout franchise, dude. And they did it so dirty. Like,
yeah.
Go do that to fucking Skyrim, okay? Don't do that to Fallout, all right?
Well, I'm hoping this new Elder Scrolls is just going to be a banger, bro. Banger.
And the fact like we'll have it on PC too. Ooh. And my PC will probably still not be able to run it.
Ooh, delicious.
But speaking of Riot,
this ad read.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I wish they're certainly not sponsoring us, but hit me up.
Play League of Legends.
This is a different ad from an even cooler company. And welcome back. The best podcast on either side of the Mississippi.
I do agree.
It doesn't matter which side. We're on that side. It's the best. Valorant Ranked coming next week, finally, with a new update. Blue isn't as excited, but Rob and I certainly are.
Yeah, Blue's not excited, but plays the game at 3 a.m.
Dude, there's nothing else to play, okay?
Yeah, okay.
You want me to go play D2 Bounty Sim? I mean, I am.
No, but...
you can only Bounty Sim so much.
There's a limit.
You're scoring as if you don't play it. And you think it's bad.
But he knows. But
I've seen you post clips and you love it. I haven't seen you been that hyped about an ace in a long time.
Yeah, because I suck, and I was like, wow, I actually did something tight. But
yeah,
I'm probably not gonna play ranked
by the way.
Oh, I'm pretty bad.
Well, I mean, we talked about it. Like for me, like I play most competitive or multiplayer games because it's like I want to hit a ranked mode and I want to see where I stack, even if it's not always the best. But I love always having something to shoot for. And I think it'll help right now too with Valorant because like right now wins and losses aren't that important to me as long as like, oh, I did all right. But then once it's like, no, like the thing that matters right now is we need this dub. Like that helps a lot.
I think that rank's coming out. It helps a lot in the fact that like now I have ranked over here where I can be serious, and now like when I'm not playing ranked, I know
Now I don't have to play
serious.
CS:GO pros in every like 4-4 lobbies.
Now I can keep doing my sheriff only rounds in casual.
The reason I don't care for Valorant ranked is because Lil Sally's favorite son, all 8 of them are all going to be like, Valorant is out. It's a Riot game shooter. It's time for me to go pro. So everyone's going to be, this is going to be straight up every single person in the entire history of esports is going to be like, shit, Valorant's out. Shit, time to go pro. Shit, rank. Shit, time to go Valorant rank.
We're going to see that once they announce whatever league they're going to have, I think. That's when people are going to be like, oh, all right. Especially like a lot of pros. Like if Riot's like, all right, we're starting this league. We're franchising. Here's the money. I think you're going to be like, oh, okay. Like,
well, no, they said they're doing like third party.
Yeah, they're starting it with
like sanctioning it, like kind of
like grassroots first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good call.
Oh, that's the best thing to do.
People also doing the work for you. Yeah, so you let it start out like that, and then I think once they're ready, I assume it would have to be like game has to be officially released. Yeah. Then you go from there.
They should have it at Evo. That'd be kind of lit.
But that's fighting games.
Fighting game.
So
it's not.
I mean, I'm sure Riot's fighting game will be at Evo when that comes out.
Barriers. I want to fight you.
That doesn't even make
Boxing
sense.
match at Evo, you and me. Drop kick your ass.
My ass.
No, I wouldn't. You're pretty. I mean, I have.
See,
look at. Oh my god, dude, that was like 0.3 or something.
You have speed.
What do you have, Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary over there?
Yeah, that's my favorite quote ever. Do you guys want me to ask Patreon questions, or is there anything else you guys would like to discuss?
Fruit, is there anything else on the topic list you want to go over?
YouTube ad revenue, please get better. That would be nice.
Okay. So like the video, which is what you're saying, like all videos.
Go watch the second channel.
I'm surprised you don't do that.
What?
Have you ever thought about doing that? Being like, if this video gets like 10K likes.
I do it with my Nuzlocke.
Okay.
If each video needs to hit a 5,000 threshold, and then Friday I do an hour power episode, so it's like double the length.
Oh.
But well, one, I like it too, just because it makes everyone like that, and then comment down below to have your chance to be a Pokemon named after you. I like that just because suddenly like it's so much more interactive, and people, even if they don't care or normally comment, they're like, well, I got to make a comment now. I get more comments and likes on my Pokemon than I get on my main channel. No meme.
Dude, that's interaction. That's what you want.
But do you think you need to like push like liking into your like?
Oh, I don't know. People would just be like, oh my god.
Does that do anything?
I think comments do more.
Yeah, comments like have shown like somehow help with algorithm or like searches or something. Likes, I don't think there's this concrete of evidence. For me, I always use it as like literally as like a like button. Like if this video gets like, let's say a video normally gets like 4,500 likes, like, oh yes, but this one has like 9,000, like, damn, okay, people really like that, or like people liked it enough to bother to like it when they normally wouldn't, which is what a lot of people do. But if that could stop sucking, that'd be great. Watch the second channel, the Nuzlocke.
Okay.
Go watch. Thank you.
I am actually.
Also watch the Minecraft video on the main channel, because if it doesn't do well, then go watch it on the second channel.
My favorite part of that is like, this is a shader that I downloaded, and if you don't like that,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm over it, dude.
You're like, I like it, and that's what matters.
Yeah, we did it because when we did our like realm, whatever, like year and a half ago, 2 years ago, people were like, "Oh my gosh, you're the ugliest shit," and I was like, "Oh, you're right. I'm just gonna go back to class." Nah, dude. Now I'm playing. I was like, "Dude, this is sick. You don't like it? Screw you. Like, whatever." I'm the one playing it. And so I think that's the important thing. And if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it, whatever. But I think
I don't get why people wouldn't like shaders. Is it just like a RTX, or is it like an actual shader? Because I heard RTX is enabled. Like you can just do RTX and it.
Nice. Well, because I was going to do RTX, but it's like a beta. And
oh, really? I thought it was like.
I guess I'll have to look, because I was reading like it's a beta you have to download. And then I didn't do it because they said in this like beta branch, you can't take the world anywhere else. It won't work on a new beta. It won't work on a different patch. It won't work in like the retail game. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to commit to like a world if I can't. Like no matter what, it's gone. Yeah, like
yeah.
Because Because like the fun of like hardcore is like this could be permanent if I don't suck. But if it's like on the beta, it's like, okay, no matter what, this is 100% gone. I'd rather the stakes, it's gone because my bad, I died.
Yeah, I can't do hardcores because I would literally break something.
Yeah, well, we'll see it when
comes.
when it probably inevitably comes.
It's coming.
It's just a matter of what is going to be. I'm predicting it's probably me falling somehow.
No, I think you're going to be walking. Okay, I'm ready. Here you go. You're going to be walking. Here's you walking. And then you turn and you just hear. And you go, what's that? Yep. And then it's over. You turn a corner. You're going to turn a corner. And it's just going to be sitting there like.
Hey,
and
friend.
Then you're dead. And then you're dead.
Possibly that. But Minecraft's tight.
Nice. Everything you have there. Yeah, Minecraft is sick.
It's quite the test trying to learn the game. Yeah, I've heard that. I wanted to play it. Beta came out, but it's like close alpha or beta.
I can't see it anywhere. Like, how does it look?
But heard good things, so that'll be interesting. Which also reminds me, League's gonna have their own ARPG.
Dude, oh man, ARPG, holy crap.
They're taking over everything, dude. They're like, all right, what's every genre of video game? All right, we're hitting each one. Like, we're making one for that and one for that.
That's the strat. I mean, hey man, it worked for Epic.
Mobile.
Why would it not work for an even bigger company?
Well, they have TFT on mobile. Legends of Runeterra is going on mobile in 5 days. And then they're making a League of Legends on mobile that is literally made for mobile. So Champs, the way it handles everything, will be specifically designed for mobile. So it's even easier and more intuitive.
I went down from plat back to gold.
Yeah, I keep hovering. I was like, I hovered one day and it goes, oh my God, Rob's gold too.
Dude, I was so triggered. I didn't think that could happen. So I was at 0 LP on plat 4. Yeah. I was plat 4, 0 LP. And I got like 7th. And then it was like gold 1, 75 LP. And I was like, excuse me? I'm back to like gold 145 LP. So
bro,
we're one Mech Infiltrator game away.
I'm literally plat 1. I go to like 45 LP. I'm like, this is it. Then I'm plat 275 LP. And I'm not kidding you. Every time I fall into plat 2, I go right back to plat 1. And then it's back to plat 2. And then it's back to plat 1. Like, I can't. I'm stuck. I'm hard stuck, dude.
He hit the skill plateau. Monka.
Yeah, I'm where I belong, I guess. I just want to hit diamond, dude, and I'm free. I'm just too close to not.
Yeah.
Plus, like,
tilted.
Yeah, at this point, I think plat 1.
Master Ball.
Yeah. At this point, plat 1 is like, I think top like 1.2% of players in TFT. But like Diamond 4 is like 0.7%. Like I can say I'm in the top 1% at a game that doesn't just require me to pew pew, you know? So if someone says you're small brained, I go, no, I'm medium brained. There's a little brain in there. A little more of a little brain. That's what I meant. But yeah, so anyway. Aside from that, I don't think there's.
Move on to our Patreon questions.
Yeah, I think we just go ahead and answer the hot questions.
Seems a pretty appropriate question for what we talked about today. Chris Cavazos, Cavazos. The Z's what throws me off. Cavazos?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
For the Pokemon fans, have you considered playing through the fan-made games like Phoenix Rising? The hell is that?
People have made their own either modded versions or completely custom games. I've never done one. I don't know, it just doesn't quite have the same. I mean, maybe one day, like if there's one where people are like, this is the best, I'll try that. But some of them just get too custom.
For me, a lot of them get. I like some of the custom of a lot of them. The problem is, for me, I get taken out so quickly of those like fan-made Pokemon games because the dialogue is so bad. Like
it's cringe.
It's so bad. And some games like don't even have like proper like punctuation. Just general grammar is awful.
Dude, it looks pretty good though. Like I'm looking at like screenshots.
What's it called?
And I'll put it in the Discord. It looks really good. I think
there's a couple that are really high quality that I
Wait,
Want to
does the
try?
little
But
Discord guy make a thing when I do that?
It
Oh,
does.
it does.
okay, we get it. Oh my, bro, please.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that. See, like that one looks pretty solid. I might give that a try.
That's what it is. It looks dope. Like
There are
it
just
looks
some that
super
are like,
sick.
well, for me
Welcome to
too.
the unofficial Phoenix Rising Wiki. Phoenix Rising is a non-profit fan-made game created using the RPG Maker XP and Pokemon Essentials. It takes place in the beautiful Hawthorne region. The game follows a non-traditional storyline introducing RPG mechanics, a multiple choice storyline, moral ambiguous gameplay, rich characters, new mega evolutions, relic Pokemon, and much more. That sounds fucking dope.
Well, yeah. See, like my problem is what sometimes happens, which takes me out, is one, they try custom sprites, and it's just Like right now, like Overworld, like I'm looking like that straight up. That kind of looks like, to me, that's like Gen 4 or 5. So I like the way it looks. Because some games,
What's Overworld?
like when you're not in a battle,
Oh,
like when you're just walking around. 2, it looks like Pokemon Follow You, so I'm down. But yeah, when it's some custom sprites, or when they try to add custom Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what it takes me out.
Yeah, and then some of them are, it's just like, bruh. And I know it's not like every Pokemon's a hit, but it makes it a lot harder for me to believe because it's not an official canon.
I guess.
What's worse is when people really try. The thing that will immediately take me out is when people like actually make like design modifications to Pokemon. There's not a lot of games that have done that, but
There's touch it.
There's some pretty prolific ones that have legit tried to like modify a Pokemon design. I'm just like, I think you want me to not play this game, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna play it.
I mean, dang, dude, you got me. This actually doesn't. I kind of want to make
eventually, but
I might make a Let's Play on this. I'm about to mess around, you know.
Oh, really? You're like looking more into it?
Yeah, this is okay. Okay, so maybe I just need to look. I don't know. Maybe I just need to find good ones. I don't know.
There's a couple of really good ones. It's just
that sounds
like the one I was most interested in playing was Pokemon Uranium. That one seemed the most interesting to me.
Pokemon Uranium
of all the custom ones.
That sounds like a Pokemon creepypasta, like a curse. Like
it's definitely like a little more edgy of a game. It's just
Why don't you play it?
It's just they did the same thing that other games do.
What's that?
They decided they could make their own designs.
Oh.
And I was just like,
Oh wait, I'm already looking. Oh, this is like a completely custom.
Yeah.
Like every single one. Oh, not every. There's a couple in here, but most of them are custom.
Pokemon Uranium?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I mean, there's a couple of decent ones, but like also at the same time, it's just like, I'm not here for you. I'm here for Nintendo's Pokemon.
Yeah, there is like new Pokemon. That's weird. There's like Orichnix, Metal Nix.
Yeah, I mean all these are
Torch. Yeah.
We'll say they're interesting. I like the type mixes though. Chinmunk. That one's kind of cute.
Oh, Ekans is in this. Arbok too. They made the cut, guys. Nice.
They survived the culling.
Okay, this is a good one. Dylan Jimenez says, hello, love you all. My question is if you guys would be interested in watching the 2008 Star Wars The Clone Wars show and do a small review on it or anything. It's my favorite show ever, and I think you guys would enjoy it. The reason I say this is because I think that an episode came out recently that was lit. I have not watched it. That's like the one Star Wars thing I haven't watched.
I'm a Clone Wars stan, so I'm
no spoilers. No spoilers.
I've watched most of the.
Have you been watching the Disney Plus?
Yeah, I've been watching it every week. It's so tight, man. This current season, easily the best one.
That's good to hear. It's going to end on a high note. That's good.
Easily best one for me personally. I know other people will probably say different ones, but this
when does this take place in the Clone Wars? Is this like kind of the
it's between 2 and 3. Although in no spoilers, I mean, Fruit, you already know the setting of the new season, right?
Well, I know the setting and stuff. Yeah.
So it was between 2 and 3, and it's going between now. It's reaching into 3 in this new season. So
yeah, I've never watched it. How many seasons is it? It's like 7 or 6.
It's a lot of seasons. Hold Hold on, how many seasons?
I always just thought it was a kiddie show, so I never really thought it
you
was
would
canon.
think it's
like,
season 8, right?
I could tell.
No, it's season 7. It's season 7. Wait,
Okay. And this is the final season, right? Or no?
dude, I don't even remember how many. Yeah, it's season 7. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is this the final season too?
This is the last season.
How many years has it been since it picked up?
So it started in 2008. And then they stopped in 2013-ish.
Oh damn, it's been a while. Man.
But then they brought it back in 2014. No. Well, yeah, 2014. It was 2008 to 2014, and then they finally made the last season here in 2020. So
okay.
Yeah, man, it's a really tight show. People thought it was like a really kiddie show, but it actually gets pretty damn dark. It's so ironic how every single time people think a show is animated, it's kiddie. It is the total opposite.
It looked pretty kiddie, but I guess it's super sick. I need to peep it.
I only watched the first few seasons. And I never caught back up. But what I saw, I watched it when it aired originally, like the first 2 or 3 years, and I really liked it. I just need to. Well, one, I'll need to rewatch. It's been so long. I have to rewatch the originals and then catch up. But yeah, no, it's a dope show.
The setting of the show isn't like particularly interesting for me because the Clone Wars are kind of resident sleeper personally, but they have so many like the characters that they introduce and like flesh
Where's
out.
our old Republic, bro?
I wish, man. The characters they flesh out, and this maybe that's why I like this new season so much, is because we're really getting into one of my favorite time periods of Star Wars.
Like
Episode 3,
Game of Thrones scale TV show, but Old Republic, dude. Like,
I don't know if I can handle.
I would love that.
I'd be so down.
Could I handle like a political Star Wars like that though? Like
I could.
Like Star Wars isn't already political.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of a joke political. Like every time they try to do political, it's like kind of like this is kind of stupid.
So, see, what?
I think like in the movies, like 1 and 2,
Episode 3 was all politics.
Yeah, and it's pretty trash. The third one is not that good. The third movie's not that good.
You're a heretic. Burn him.
It's not this good. Because I think people compare it to 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 are terrible. So like when 3 came out, they're like, "This is so great."
3 is tight. No,
3 is very okay.
3 is one of the best.
Very okay. 3 is enough to make it sit.
3 is one of the best.
Star Wars Episode 3 is like when it's on TNT and it's like kind of on, you're like, is it on the last fight? And if it's not, you're like, nope.
Dude, no. Get out. Dude,
it's not one of those ones you stop and go, I gotta watch this.
I was already on board with Episode 3 being tight. And then after watching all the new Star Wars, I was like, okay, yeah, Episode 3 was definitely way more tight than this. Okay, so Episode 3 is tight. It's
like they're on the same level. They're all on the same level. Like,
the Senate will decide.
I'm not gonna sit here and say Episode 3 is like as good as like the original trilogy, because even Rise of
No.
Even Return of the Jedi was probably.
But I would say 3 is equal to the Rise of Skywalker. I think the 3 and Rise of Skywalker are the same score. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. 3's pretty whack, bro.
Bro, absolutely.
I could like dive into why 3 is trash.
I could see you saying Force Awakens is better. Right, I could see that. I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't agree
easily. And
I wouldn't agree with that. But you can't honestly tell me Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker are better than 3.
The Last Jedi is not better than 3, and I didn't say
Last
they were
Jedi
better.
Is literally bottom of the bottom.
I would literally say they are like here. I hate them both.
I know.
The 3 may be a little better. They're
both at least 3 like has a coherent street. Like the story goes from point A to point B. At least there's some actual drama and tension, and you know the characters and you care about the characters. Rise of Skywalker is like, oh, looks like Rey saved the universe. Didn't expect that.
There's a lot of dummy shit though in Episode 3. Like nah. Like I'm not about it.
Dude, there's actually such good writing in 3. You cannot shit. Come on, man.
A lot of good writing in 3. But from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Like, oh Jesus Christ.
That only sounds bad because it's gotten super memed on the internet, okay? It's like Batman and Dark Knight. Like it's kind of bad, but That's only because of the memes.
No, that maybe next I'll make a PowerPoint and I'll
You
be
need to
like, this
rewatch-
is why.
You need to rewatch 3, and it's not as bad as you think it is. In fact, it's a really good Star Wars movie.
One of my
It's just-
biggest gripes
Yeah.
with 3 is when Anakin decides to be Darth Vader. And like all of a sudden he's like, no, like we got to take him to trial. And he's like, he's too dangerous. And then he's like, I'm evil now. Hiya. Like,
But the entire point of that was how Anakin gets indoctrinated into following the Jedi code, and he basically gets radicalized, which is kind of the point. The politics of the original trilogy is showing how the Jedi and Sith are radicalized versions of different views, and it puts everyone in the crossfire. So Anakin has become so radicalized from one point of view. When that radicalization gets shifted, and he's like, "Wait a minute, the people I've been idolizing are actually assholes." He just switches to the other side, which is he just gets totally swapped to the other radical point of view. It is so tight. I hate you.
well, I disagree with you, Michael Cera, down there.
God damn it.
I think I'm like looking at the right, like kind of.
You're pretty.
I might be on the opposite side.
Yeah, you're on the right side. You're close enough. You're close enough.
Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah.
Hit us with it.
Wow, this one is actually kind of weird. Because I did not see this. Hey, this one's from AJ Kelly. Hey, longtime watcher / listener, first time writer. I was
Ooh.
wondering if Fruit has ever considered doing a Nuzlocke Soul Link or
Wow.
co-op with someone.
Hey.
I know he was a
Whoa,
fan of
surprise.
Shady Penguin from seeing a comment he left a long time ago on one of Shady's LPs. Wow, leaving comments on little Mr. Fruit Stand.
Hey,
eh?
I mean,
Hey.
Dad did notice him.
Yeah,
you leave comments on YouTube videos?
very rarely.
Very rarely.
Very like that's probably one of 20 in like the lifetime of
Not-
YouTube I've
yeah,
used.
like a dozen.
Yeah, maybe.
He only
Very
does it-
rarely.
He only does it when he like really stands.
Have you ever
someone.
commented, Blue? Like, do you comment regularly or no?
What? No, I would never do that.
No,
I might
never.
have a check mark.
What did you
don't-
comment on Shady's thing? Like, love the vid, man. Keep it up, or like what?
Oh, I don't remember. I mean, I wouldn't have done something like that.
dig that up. I'm interested to see.
But yeah, we're gonna like play League or something sometime, right? Like we're Shady and I, we're like best friends, dude. Like it's
He says, also,
yes.
Blue, I am not sure if you play YGO. Don't know what that is. Still, but hit me
Oh.
up if you do. I would love a chance to duel you. Oh, I'm guessing it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Unfortunately, I do not.
That
The game
Duel
has
Links?
lost me, man.
Retired.
There's so much. The power creep has gotten to the point where I know if I've been gone a couple of years, I would literally have to invest like hundreds of dollars all over again to play like a deck that I probably don't even like. It's
Even
just
on like online Yu-Gi-Oh. There's no free Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, there's plenty of emulators and like like really high quality fan Yu-Gi-Oh clients that let you play with the cards and stuff. There's ridiculously high quality ones, but Yu-Gi-Oh lost me, man. There's just so it's just.
I always thought
they really need to rotate cards out because it's just gotten to the point where, God, man, the game is just so broken on every level. I couldn't go back. I couldn't do it.
I always thought Yu-Gi-Oh had the dopest like battle mechanic in the sense that like you put a card down and like in front of you is like the battlefield and it like the monster spawned like and
It
was
was
like
so-
attacked the other monster that they
With-
had spawned with their card.
Hey, with
I always thought
VR
Yeah.
with VR getting the way it is, I have
Bro.
no doubt we're gonna start getting stuff like
I
that
cannot wait
to
I'm
play
here
Yu-Gi-Oh
for
on
it, man.
VR. That'd be tight. Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I have no doubt we're
I'm gonna,
eventually
like,
gonna get a proper VR Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, like
But it took me out, man. The only time it brought me back in was when Duel Links came out, and that was because it was using all the old cards and slowly introducing them. But I mean, Duel Links is eventually gonna go to all the new cards, which kind of killed the game for me. Where I don't know, it's like if you were to have Pokemon and which Pokemon is kind of starting to do, where they're like, oh, GX, oh, GXX, oh, Mega Evolution GX, oh, VMAX
Mega
GX,
X.
Mega Evolute. Like, it's like if you were to do what Pokemon does right now, It's just that they never rotated out, and the cards kept on getting more and more ridiculous. It's just a lot, man. It's too much. The part of the reason I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, Pokemon's getting a lot. Like they're starting to really like push the territory of like oh, this card, knock this card and you knock out 3 prize cards because this card is so busted. Like they're getting pretty, but at least they rotate cards out, so it's not like you can keep on. It's like they have to keep on power creeping it. They just choose to because Pokemon. But with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like, man, power creep. Suddenly, I have a novel on my Chaos Emperor Dragon Link synergy synchronization fucking XY. I hate it. I can't do it.
I may have a hot take here.
Uh-oh.
The Yu-Gi-Oh show hit harder than Pokemon show.
Oh, easy.
Yu-Gi-Oh show was like hitting. Like when Yu-Gi-Oh show was hitting, it was cooler than Pokemon.
Easy, not even close. Pokemon.
And I had to hide that fact because if I told my friends that, I would be outcasted.
Well, you're outcasted now.
What the? I can't honestly
disagree.
Well, I can't actually say I never really watched much Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, that's right. You weren't allowed.
Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh was dark, man.
That's how you know it was tight if you weren't allowed to watch it.
Yu-Gi-Oh was tight.
No, it was cool. I really liked it a lot. Like when they started introducing, like my favorite is the Egyptian God cards. When they that kind of arc, that hits. And then he gets like a sky scyther. What is that called? The sky dragon thing. That
dude, yeah, that should hit. See, the sad thing about Yu-Gi-Oh and why I don't go back is because back then, the Egyptian God cards, like they had all these ridiculous effects, and you're like, whoa, like, damn, like these guys are crazy. Look at all these effects. And now, like, you look at Yu-Gi-Oh today, and it's like, oh yeah, I mean, the Egyptian gods really don't have that many effects.
Well, don't you have to like sacrifice like a bunch of monsters too to even get the Egyptian God cards out there?
Yeah, for gods you needed 3 tributes, and you can't like
get in there, Karibo.
Yeah, you can't like you can special them, like cheese them into the game. Like you had to straight up like sacrifice 3 monsters.
So 3 Karibos.
Yep, throw them in there.
Well, I think that does it for this episode. The ESPN 2 episode of GG over
Everyone's
Easy.
Much awaited, highly anticipated.
Yep. Next week will be the Ancient Aliens episode, the History Channel, and Pawn Stars episode.
Ooh.
They're not what used to be.
My dad's favorite show, World War II in color. In color.
Dude, that is sick.
I watch my dad every time I go upstairs. I'm like, what are you watching? He goes, World War II. It's just a different like version of some channel's World War II documentary. It'll be like National Geographic, and then next week he'll watch the History Channels, and then it's just really funny.
I respect it.
Like, what happens this episode? I'm like, does he die? And he's like, yeah, he died.
How'd you know? Like that's.
Wow. Is it over yet? And he's like, like, well, I hope we get through this. This is a tough one.
I haven't gotten to Normandy yet. Sorry.
With that, we want to thank you all very much for watching and or listening to the GG Over Easy podcast. Hope you all stay safe. We love you all. We'll talk to you very soon. And farewell.